Hello, my name is Pintobread, and today we are going to be checking out two analog horrors. Two analog horrors and a Backrooms movie thingy. The first one is going to be through Vintage 8. Vintage 8 is a very well known analog horror content creator. He makes a ton of different stuff. We're going to be basically looking at his second most popular video, which is the complete series of Children Under the House. I'm very excited. I've heard great things, but I know nothing of the series itself. So I am very excited. Second series we're going to be checking out is going to be A Demon in the House, and it is going to be made by Anomaly. We checked out a couple of Anomalies a few weeks back, and we really enjoyed what we saw, and I had a good time with it. So we're just going to check out one of his other ones, and this is basically like a one-shot, so this is all that there is about this particular story, so I thought it would work well. And then last but not least, we checked out Async before, and we watched their Backrooms series, their newest one, but apparently they had one prior called No Escape. And just 4 days ago, he released the entire series put together in a movie. It's about an hour and a half, so then we're going to watch that. So I'm pretty excited about today. I think it's going to be a pretty fun stream. Either way, thank you guys for joining me. I see you, Manwa, Attila, Tom. We're going to jump right into it per normal. It's going to be right about in the middle. I'm so excited. This series is apparently so popular, they've re-released it like 4 times. Last week I purchased a repossessed storage locker. Inside was an old desk, an outdated computer, and a filing cabinet. The letterhead of the few loose documents read, "The Office of Julia Liu. From what I could find, she was a successful child therapist at Kate's Crossing from the late 70s to early 90s. Don't know if I should keep subtitles on. Ooh, I guess I will. Her obituary stated she died on December 18th, 2015. Yeah, I guess I'll keep them on because then I can gauge how fast or slow I can read. At a glance, this seemed like a typical hall. And if I recall correctly, typical if not for the collection of VHS tapes hidden in the false bottom of the desk drawer. If I recall correctly, this is mostly told through children's drawings. Weird.
Hey John, $1,000,000 idea. A way to share a video without waiting on the mail. What do you think? Anyway, as I said on the phone, I think this may be the easiest way to get you up to speed on what I'm dealing with here. And before you ask, no, we don't have releases for the family. They refuse to have their likeness involved in any way. However, they did allow me the use of Jessica's drawings. We will need to change their names when we get to the writing stage. Regardless, I think you'll be able to see why I think this will make one hell of a book.
Oh, and they released the series as a book.
So, prior to our first session, each member of the family was given the standard questionnaire. The results are as followed. The patient's name is Jessica Daniels. Jessica, or Jess, as she prefers to be called, is 7 years old. Normal birth, no complications, no medical issues. She's intelligent, sweet, friendly, and highly empathetic. The child was born in Houston, Texas, where she never had issues in school or socializing with peers or adults. The family bought the Clark's house. Beautiful house. I love how it's built up on columns. And I'm sure you remember the Clarks from your time here. Sweet old couple. They own that little dive you used to drag me to for lunch. What was it? Oh yeah, the Burger Shack. But anyway, according to her mother, Carol, Jess had a particularly tough time adjusting. She didn't notice anything out of the ordinary until the second week. Wednesday night, to be exact. They think it was after midnight when Jess ran into her mother.
You hear a baby, she's having a blast, and it's her house.
People living under the house. Carol dismissed this as a nightmare, but it started happening night after night until Jess finally refused to sleep in her room. She moved the child's bed to her room, but Jess continued to wake up saying the same thing. She could hear people talking under the floor.
Ooh.
Carol made sure to note that Jess never had problems sleeping in Houston.
Funny, Attila.
Adam,
You're definitely gonna have to find it and send it to me.
having the child sleeping in the room devised a simple solution. He brought her under the house, tried to show her that there wasn't anything there. And according to Adam, there wasn't, but Jess was convinced she saw something. The girl got into a ball and screamed until her voice gave out. She's been mute since that day. After a series of tests and multiple second opinions, no physician could find anything wrong. There's nothing hindering the girl from speaking. Therefore, the conclusion is that her condition is mental in nature. The drawings you are seeing are currently her only form of communication.
Made sense to me.
From observations and the questionnaire, I have a few thoughts on the other family members. Carol Daniels. She's the children's primary caregiver. From what I can observe, she's a caring mother. However, she is deeply resentful of her husband, Adam, for forcing them to move from Houston to Kate's Crossing. Adam Daniels is an obvious workaholic. He spends the majority of his time at work. Dean, her brother, typical early teen. He wasn't happy about the move, but seems to be adjusting adequately. Give me a call after you digest this material.
Her voice really comes off like another day at the job. Work. Oh. I mean, yeah, that's not terrible. You can use it interchangeably, I suppose. I've heard it used both ways. The famous words of Sean Spencer, I've heard it both ways. Good news, Mrs. Daniels will allow me to tape record my voice during the session. I will splice in Jessica's pictures and give general descriptions and notes when appropriate. Session 1. Just making sure. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I assumed as much, but...
Hi, Jess. My name is Miss Julia. How are you today?
I'm okay.
Has your mom or dad told you why you're here? So how about we get to know each other?
I love that the tapes really give
Would
a
you like that?
almost destroyed feel.
What's your favorite food? Mine's spaghetti.
Fries. Who doesn't like a good fry?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is orange.
I like that one too. Tell me about your family.
Bunch of brothers, one sister.
Blah, blah, blah. A one-eyed teddy bear.
Why are you frowning? Okay, so how about you tell me who that is? Did your mom or your dad get him for you?
No. Then where'd he come from? He belongs to my friend.
That's very sweet. Tell me more about your friend. I want to make a note here. She stared in the corner of the room as if she was waiting for permission. She then shook her head in the negative. Is someone here, Jess? Is that your friend in the corner?
Doesn't look very friendly.
Another note. That clearly looks like a face. It appears that she has an imaginary friend. What's their name? Maybe we could all play together. No, she would no longer participate in my questions at this point. Regardless, I thought this was a decent first session. Let's try to talk by the end of next week.
You know, good introductory session. My daughter is loving Miss Rachel right now, and they're apparently howling.
So how are you doing today?
Fine.
And what did you do last night?
So interesting how different the penmanship was.
Let's play a game. If a genie came out of a bottle and granted you 3 wishes, what would those be? How about I go first then?
Loves the beach. Eat what I want, not gain a pound.
I'm hoping the last one
A
can be
happy
true.
Jess.
Want to try?
Okay. Back to Houston. Wants a happy family to move back to Houston.
Are these angels? Is this who you think lives under your house?
Kinda.
So you wish they'd leave?
I wish they could.
Let's talk about your friend, okay? Okay, John. Again, the girl stared into the corner of the room almost like she was waiting for permission. Is that your friend? What's their name?
No reply.
Would you tell me their name if I gave you a sucker? How about two? One for you and one for them. Once again, the girl looked into the corner of the room, then shook her head yes.
Mia.
Note, I have to admit, I found that image quite disturbing. However, it isn't the creepiest imaginary friend that I've had drawn for me. Does your friend live under the house?
Yeah.
How many friends live under the house?
10, maybe more. Damn.
Why do you think they're there? Are you still scared of them? Would you like them to go away? Note, a
Ooh.
picture frame fell off the wall. It was located in the corner of the room she claimed her friend was standing. Needless to say, it gave us both a good jump. Ha ha. So, 10
I am with
imaginary
5.
friends. That child has a lot to say, but she's having trouble finding someone to say it to. Most likely the father. For homework, I'm going to try to have Dad ask questions, mirror what we're doing at home. Alright, John, I look forward to our chat Sunday. Bye. And sorry this tape is a little late, but I think I have rats. Something has snuck into my office and eaten all the candy.
If the imaginary friend has a sweet tooth.
Hey John, tomorrow is Jess's appointment, but I had a few thoughts I'd like to share, so forgive me if I start rambling. You and I have seen quite a few disturbing children's drawings. But I must admit, after re-examining this drawing, I feel there is something oddly true about this image. I feel like this drawing is rooted in something the child has seen, perhaps a movie or something on the news. Maybe Dean tried to scare her, or it could be as simple as a scary story. I've even thought that maybe the imaginary children might represent friends she left behind in Houston. Maybe Maya was her best friend.
Session 3.
Hey Jess, would you like to play another game? Let's draw a picture of you as an adult.
Okay. Well, that looks nice, Jess.
Why do you want to be a doctor?
To help people.
And I'm sure you will. That's a very good quality to have. So, what does Maya want to be when she grows up? Note, as you might suspect, John, Jess once again became fixated with the same corner of the room. She shook her head in the negative over and over, and the motions became more and more aggressive. And as I was about to stop the young girl, Jess picked up a crayon.
Mia doesn't get to grow up. Aw. Sorry about that, Mia.
Why is that, Jess? Note, I'll be honest, John, I was scared to ask that question. Everybody gets to grow up, Jess.
Not if they are dead. Dun, dun, dun.
You think Maya is dead?
Yeah. My nose got stuffy all of a sudden. Oh, it's in the trunk of a car. Oh my goodness. And they crashed. Oh my goodness. It got split in half. Oh my goodness.
Why was she in the trunk?
Okay, I was like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe she wasn't in the trunk. No, she definitely was. She doesn't remember. But she knows bad people put her there. So this girl was kidnapped, and then they get in a wreck while trying to leave. Now she lives under the house with her friends. And it ends with her cut in half. That's wild.
Can you tell me about her friends?
They are all very sad. Only I can see them.
So, do you play with the other friends?
Well, they made her go mute, so I'm gonna guess not all. Some of them.
And why is that?
Because they want to hurt me. And force me to live under the house. Ooh.
Does Maya want to hurt you?
No, she protects me. Good stuff, Maya. You're a good egg. Time's up.
Before you go, Jess, can you do me a favor? For our next session, can you tell me more about your friends? Draw them?
Yes. That's nice. By the way, they are sorry about eating the candy. Dun dun
Note, and
dun.
I don't know how she knew I was out of candy. There was a moment she was alone when she first arrived. Maybe she peeked in the desk. That's likely it, or the child is talking to the dead.
End of session 3.
Usually my conversations with Mrs. Daniels don't extend too much beyond the session and pleasantries, but this time I could tell.
Oh, for sure the
Mrs.
latter
Jess.
one.
She asked quite a few questions about Maya. I, of course, told her that most children have imaginary friends and that I wouldn't worry. She was also very curious about the Clarks and if they had any children. Of course, as far as I know, the Clarks didn't. When I questioned her curiosity, she mentioned that they have found some old toys, such as Jess's bear, a toy truck, and a few other things. Mrs. Daniels also mentioned that Jess has been taking things and hiding them in her room, as well as under the house. I'll have to ask her about this in the next session.
I'll send Adam's homework after I've had a chance to go through the material. I don't expect to be too impressed. Homework. I'm liking the shtick. This is enjoyable. Has its own little charm. Following drawings and notes are the results of the homework I gave Adam and Jess. Night 1, Wednesday. How are you doing, sweetie? Or Adam says, how are you doing, sweetie? Fine, I guess. We all know Jess. How was that thing with Dr. Lou? Good. We like her. We? Question mark? Mia and me. Right, Mia. I forgot. So, are you looking forward to school? Not really. Scared kids are going to think I'm weird. Honey, why would you think that? What would give you that impression? Because I am. Sorry you feel that way, Jess. I can't talk. And I see ghosts. With 5 exclamation marks. They're imaginary, not dead. I'm sure Dr. Lou is telling you the same thing. Mia is not real. Shouldn't have said that, Papa. Or, oh, I can't remember which one this is. Of course she is. I can see her behind you. I bet my voice butthole tensed. You hurt Mia's feelings. You made them mad. Now I am mad. Fine. Get ready for dinner. How was your day, baby? Fun. Oh my. Mia read me a story. Love a good story. Hopscotch? What's wrong, Dad? You look scared. Go watch TV. I have more work to do. Night 3, Friday. We'll do the question thing later. Dad is not wanting to do it. Night 4, Saturday, no homework. Adam said I'm good. I'm done. Night 6, Monday, Carol does the assignment for Adam. Dad had to do work late, so we are going to do the homework. Okay, Carol. Okay, Jess. You think I'll ever hear your voice again? Aw, sad. I don't know. Sometimes I think about taking you and Dean back to Houston. You can't do that. Oh my gosh. Did not like that idea. I thought that's what she wanted. They will never let me leave. Oh. Don't think they'll let any of us leave. Who? I know you've seen them. Out of the corner of your eyes. Hear things. Notice things aren't where you left them. My nose got so stuffy all of a sudden. I hate that. They are always there. Who, baby? The children under the house. They said it! They said it! That's the thing! Oh, wow. They are all tore up. We're their family now. And you can't leave family. Right?
drawings, almost like she was trying to push him away just to see if he'd stay. Unfortunately, Adam did just as she expected. Jess probably won't speak until she can finally let this world go and accept that her parents' problems aren't her fault. Speaking of which, I probably should recommend a good marriage counselor for Adam and Carol. Alright, John, I'm looking forward to your thoughts as usual.
Homework. Earlier today, Carol stopped by the office unannounced. She handed me a folder of additional drawings by Jess. I could tell that she had been drinking, but it wasn't to the point where I felt it impaired her thinking. The notes included on this tape are from memory. Regardless, I think you will find them worrisome. Conversation. Hello, Dr. Liu. How are you? Fine, Carol. What can I do for you? We have an appointment. No, I am here alone. I feel so damn stupid. I let myself believe it all could be true. I'm not following, Carol. I'm sorry. Kinda all over the place. A small part of me is relieved. And the other part is just really worried about my little girl. Maybe start at the beginning. Have you looked at the homework? Of course. I let myself believe it, all of it. Jess seemed so convinced, so sure. I thought, well, hell, maybe there are dead people living under the house. That's crazy. After all, my kid can't be crazy. Jess is not crazy. She's just a kid dealing with a lot. I started seeing them too, Dr. Liu. Damn. Who did you see? Her friends. Ooh. I believe in an afterlife. It's not that big of a stretch. Right. There are lots of reasons that could cause the stress, exhaustion. My son has seen things too. Things he can't explain. He's heard Jess talking to another girl, but always find her alone. You know that bear of hers? We've thrown it away a dozen times. Ooh, my goodness. Mr. Bartleby. Bartleby. And it comes back every time. You know, I have a colleague I think could help. Maybe you and your husband could benefit from a session. No, I don't need that. I know all of this is just in her head. What happened? I had the whole yard dug up. My goodness. Well, she wanted to believe her. Every inch. Every tree. Outside the house. And underneath. Police even brought dogs. You know what we found? Nothing. Who would have guessed? There are no kids under the house. You just didn't dig deep enough. Just a box of toys and a few menus from some old restaurant called the Burger Shack. Throwback, the Burger Shack. Thanks for listening. Adam thinks we've all lost our mind. It's just good to have someone to talk to. Still need to call the Clarks. See if they want their stuff. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
I am very concerned for Jess as well as her entire family. It's fortunate that she was able to let go of the delusion, but it is concerning how quickly she chose to buy into it. If things continue to deteriorate, we may need child services to step in.
Damn.
Let's speak after you get this. Talk soon, John. Hi, John. It's a few hours before Jess's session, and I just received a phone call that absolutely made my day. Adam called and asked if I had a reference for a marriage counselor.
Nice. Good stuff, Adam.
This is an incredible step forward. I'd like to think that it was something I did, but the likelihood is Carol's recent actions have had an effect.
Well, at least she's honest.
Or at least in his own words, it's time to focus on what's important. This gives me a tremendous amount of hope. Even if they can't save their marriage, they may be able to learn how to cope and keep their problems from spilling onto Jess.
Session 4.
Note, considering what I have reviewed in the homework and the conversation with Mrs. Daniels, I was surprised to find Jess in such a chipper mood. Hello, Jess. How are you today?
Great. Mia says hi too.
Oh, hello, Maya. So what's new with you? Note, She opened a manila folder and handed me a note from her dad.
Hey, sweetie, I'm sorry about the last few weeks. I'm sorry about a lot of things. I can do better, and I will do better for you, your mom, and your brother. I love all of you more than I love myself, and I'm going to start showing it. I'm ready to start believing you, baby. Heart, Dad.
Note, clearly Adam is turning a corner. I believe this will be very important in getting Jess to start speaking again. This is great, Jess. So is this why you're in such a good mood?
Yeah. And Dad wants to take us on vacation. We might go to the beach. The beach. Or the mountain. I love the mountain. He said Mia can come too. Isn't that great?
Of course it is. Either place sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll keep my fingers crossed for the mountains. Did you have a chance to do the homework?
Yep. Mia helped.
Note, John, I thought I was prepared to see what she wanted to show me. I was wrong.
Brad, Mia. Bad people gave Mia Mr. Bartleby. That's how they stole her. Mia wishes she didn't leave her family. Kidnapped by using a teddy bear. Shelly. Damn, Shelly. Shelly was scared until they gave her some medicine, but it was too much. Then she woke up under the house. Poor Shelly. Wendy. So they was just kidnapping kids and killing them. My goodness. What happened to Wendy? Oh my goodness. Wendy remembers being dead before she died. Being dead was supposed to be freedom. But it was another trap, another prison. Be you. Zach, the boy who burns. Ooh. They lit him on fire. Zach doesn't remember his family. Every day was blurry until the last day. Zach was stuffed in a fireplace after his neck broke. Brad is the oldest. He was someplace dark for a long time. They forgot him and he died. Thinks his body is still where they left him. Oh, that's fudged, bro. That sucks. They just forgot about him. Left him there. That's wild. What a way to go. Marky Mark. Mark? Mark remembers running, but he didn't get far. The last thing he remembers is a loud bang, then he woke up under the house. That's so sad. Katie, or Kate. Lay it on me, girl. What happened? Kate is the scariest one under the house. I was not expecting that from Kate. She has a hand for every hand that hurt her. Oh my, a lot of hands, a lot of hands, a lot of hurt.
Note, these images are coming from somewhere. I can't believe all of this is the product of her imagination. A young girl shouldn't be able to recall some of these details.
That was cool.
So who are
I was
these
wondering if they were
people?
going to go through all the dead people, but they, or at least some of them. And they did. I like that. Makes me happy. Reminds me of like 13 Ghosts. That's a good movie. I need to rewatch that. Not everyone under the house wanted to talk. Most can't remember anything, but ... They are mad because they want to remember.
Well, thank you for doing this. Will it be okay with you and Maya if I keep these?
Sure. I love how she actually likes her therapist.
Thank you. So, Jess, why do you think you stopped speaking?
I traded my voice for eyes. They needed me to see, so I needed to give something to get something. It was the only way to see my friends. That's crazy. Makes sense.
So you don't think you'll ever speak again?
Maybe. It depends.
Depends on what?
If they ever get to leave. Old bone. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely. You can ask me anything.
Mia says you talked to an imaginary friend too. Why she knew we could trust you. Who is John? Woo!
John, I've never mentioned your name to Jess or her parents. They know I'm interested in writing about Jess's case, but they don't know that I'm collaborating with another therapist. I need to think about this a little more. I'll get back to you.
End of session 4. You know my girl's kind of starting to trip a little bit. She started... Oh, my daughter was saying ow. No, she's saying wow. Wow, wow, wow.
John, I know you disagree, but I'm leaving for the library. I have to know if any of this is true. I know you think there's a logical explanation not rooted in the supernatural, but unfortunately, I just don't see it. I have never mentioned your name. Your name isn't written anywhere in my office. It's not even on the tapes. And no, I don't edit these videos in the same location I see patients. I've gone over every suggestion you gave me, and none of them line up. Not one. Look at it this way. If I find nothing, this will be your chance to rub it in. Tell me you told me so. God knows it wouldn't be the first time.
Got him.
But if I do find something, then I'm not sure if I'm the right person to help this girl.
Research.
It took most of the day, but after going back nearly 10 years, I found what I was looking for.
Brad Landry, September 3rd, 1984. They forgot Brad. Have you seen this child, Zach Hardy? Oh. Give him a glass of water. By the time I got back, he was gone. November 8th, 1984. Zach's disappearance is just one of many that have plagued the area. Never found. Please close the case. Last seen getting in a large white van. Girl, you're wild. Went to get some snacks from the concession stand. By the time I came back, she was getting into someone's van. That's sad. Another child missing. Police have no leads. Yeah, statistically, most actual crimes never get solved. Sad. Surprisingly, though, I think the top solved crime is a murder. Got like 52.3% right now in America. Which is still sad, but still good. Jelly. Dozens of children missing across 4 different wild. We looked away and she was gone. Man, all of these keep happening like super quickly. Getting up to go get water, getting up to go do something, turning away for a second. Let's head in to the Mia Martinez investigation. Body of missing girl found in the trunk of known criminals. Accident leaving 2 dead appears to have also ended the life of Mia Martinez. Kidnappers Ralph Kemp and Jared James, both frequent residents of the Paris Penitentiary. That's so sad. What did it say there at the end, though? Yeah, child trafficking scheme. That's what I thought. She had high doses of heroin in her system. That's so sad.
They're all real, John. They were someone's children, someone's babies. But why are they under that house? Why are they drawn to Jess? Did the Clarks see them too? I understand you went out of this, John. I know you're not that comfortable. Hold on. Hello? Speaking? What? When? I understand. Thank you. John, Adam was just murdered.
What? That was random? The boy said, I'm gonna go fix myself. I'm gonna go fix our marriage. I'm gonna go fix our fucking family. He gets murdered.
Adam's funeral went like you might imagine. I didn't expect a big turnout, though. Apparently, Adam was more popular than I thought. Even the Clarks came to pay their respects. But I suppose Kate's Crossing has always been a friendly place. Poor Adam probably wouldn't agree. Police said it was a carjacking gone wrong. A closed casket funeral. I don't want to know what they mean by gone wrong.
That's wild. So crazy that carjacking. Man, that's such a stupid way to die.
I really feel for Carol and the kids. With everything they've already been through, I imagine the situation seems impossible. I just want to help, but I really don't know how. Carol told me in passing that they were moving back to Houston. She said Jess wanted to do one more session before they left. I should be hopeful, but I keep thinking about what she wrote in the homework.
They will never let me.
Do I show Carol the articles and beg her to stay, or let them go and hope for the best? And if they do go, how do I help those poor children trapped under the house? It's just too much, John. Too much. I have a week before her session. I'm going to think it over.
Session 5. Should have worn pants, man. I'm wearing shorts today and it is
No.
chilly.
I've gone back and forth on this, but after the session, I'm going to share the articles with Carol. If it were me, I'd want to know.
Carol's gonna go fucking crazy. She's already on a tightrope, man.
Hi, Jess. How are you today?
I'm sad. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
I know, but that's okay. It's natural to be sad when we lose someone we care about.
Didn't lose him. He was taken.
my God, Jess. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't be seeing something like this.
It's okay. I'm kind of used to it.
Is that Shelly in the background?
She liked following Dad. He said the man in the mask seemed familiar. We only know one other male character, so or two.
Does she know who that is?
It's either the neighbor or it's John, so. But she heard his voice before.
Really? Where?
She doesn't remember. Oh, never mind.
Can you ask her again? Shelly disappeared a decade ago. That can't be a coincidence.
She's sorry. But she doesn't remember, just pieces of things.
Jess, I want you to tell your friends that I want to help them, but I need any information they can give me. Can Shelly or Maya ask the others? Anything might help. Note, she started acknowledging people in every direction. I got the uneasy feeling that this room was filled with children. Note, for once the young girl looked in charge. She placed her finger on her lips to silence whoever was speaking. Finally, she pointed across the room, then started writing.
Food, they remember hearing people talking. The Shake Shack. It's the Shake Shack, the Burger Shack. It was loud, but the medicine kept it quiet. It was dark. All of them remember the dark. Some remember more faces than others. Money, there was always money. The woman was nice. She always brought food. Mark said maybe it was a man. He was nice too. He brought toys.
Thank you, Jess. Everybody. I'll do my best to try and figure this out.
Never told me who John was.
John is a friend. We went to school together. We worked together for a few years. He lives in Florida now with his wife and kid. And what Maya has noticed is that I send him tapes of our conversations. I was hoping he could help me with your case, and we were thinking about writing a book about you and your friends.
So he's not a ghost.
No, not yet anyway. Does this bother you? Or your friends?
Nope. I was hoping to meet a new ghost. Huh. Someone that could help them move on or something. You know this is goodbye, right?
Yes, your mom told me that you were going back to Houston.
I'm not going back to Houston.
Why not?
Because I'm going to live under the house. The ones that don't remember will never let me leave.
I'm going to try and talk to your mom, okay?
Thanks, but she's not going to listen. Come visit me if you can.
Like before, the following notes are from memory.
I want to thank you for everything you've done for Jess. It was my pleasure. Look, I want to talk to you about Jess' friend. I was having a bad day, hella bad month. I let my imagination get away from me. Mrs. Daniels, they're real, and I have proof. That can't be true. We dug up the entire yard. We didn't find anything. That's because you weren't looking in the right place. Every name she gave me, I was able to find in the paper. She even knew how Mia perished. Then Jess isn't. Jess's problem is supernatural. Then it's a good thing we're leaving. Well, I don't think that's gonna help you, but alright. That's what I wanted to talk about. I was hoping you consider staying. Why? I'd like to try and help them, and for that I need Jess also. She doesn't think they're going to let her leave. What does that mean? It sounds like a threat. According to Jess, it is. And that's a good enough reason to leave, isn't it? Would you want to live with someone threatening your little girl? I understand, but this might cause more problems than solve. And then there's the other children. I'm sorry about the children, I really am, but I have to worry about my kids first. Thanks for everything.
Jess's last session was 2 weeks ago. The next day, Carol left with Dean and Jess. They didn't get more than 2 miles away from the house when Jess had a violent seizure. Jess hasn't been the same since. She no longer communicates.
Aww.
She just sits in the corner, blankly staring at the wall.
That's sad.
Talk later, John.
That's sad. Or Jess. What did she do? But nothing. Not a damn thing.
I'm afraid we're going to lose Jess. Yesterday, she had her 4th seizure.
Damn.
The poor child seems weaker by the day. Every time the phone rings, I'm afraid it's Carol calling me with the worst.
And Julia tried to warn Carol too. That's so sad. Julia, a real one. He said, I took the time to listen to this girl, look up things that could corroborate her. And they never listened.
The good news is that Jess still communicates. Each morning I find several of her drawings waiting for me in the office. At least, I hope that it's her leaving me drawings.
Oh no. It's scary where I am. Aw. Like another world here, it's dark and cold. Dad isn't here. Aw. Poor Adam. Shelly said he moved on. Dad reached out, tried to take her along, but something kept her here. Same thing keeping us all here. They are so confused. They try to remember but can't. They are stuck in a loop that makes no sense. They only recognize pieces of things. Is this going to happen to me? Tell Mom she can leave. I'll be okay. Aww. Tell Mom and Dean I love them.
Jess is not dead yet. There has to be a way to save this girl, a way to get her soul back in her body. But time is running out. I called the Clarks in desperation. I was surprised they moved back to Kate's Crossing. Apparently, RV life didn't suit them. Mrs. Clark probably thought I was crazy. I can't imagine too many people who expect to get a call asking if they've seen ghost children in their home.
I just realized all the pictures there go together.
I gave her Maya's name. Brad, Shelley, Wendy, Mark, all of them. She was clueless. She couldn't recall anything weird ever happening in that house.
Those pictures definitely go together, because I didn't even realize it until just now.
Hopeless.
I feel like an idiot.
She asked me several times to come by their place. Said we could talk over lemonade. I, of course, declined. I just don't have the time.
They are most definitely the
Jess doesn't
killers.
have the time. This is outside my realm of expertise. I probably should call a priest, but I've always been more comfortable behind a stack of books than kneeling on a pew. The following are the notes I accumulated over 3 days of continuous research. I never would have imagined that there were so many books dedicated to spirits, ghosts, demons, and the afterlife.
What creates a ghost? Murder, especially those that remain unsolved. Sometimes the ghost will not move on until the murder is solved. Best hope of ending this, but who could have done it? Lack of proper burial possible. Most of the children have never been found. Time loops. Ghosts may be stuck in their last moments. Why don't they remember their last moments? Older ghosts may remember less and less of their former lives. But what if they already don't remember what's left? Is anything left? Emotions, anger. Possession was just possessed. Don't demons possess people? Can ghosts possess people? Is that the case here? No, no, no. The children are victims too.
What the hell am I missing? I've been racking my head for days. What am I not seeing?
Too many questions. Who could have done this? What is their motive? Connection between the kids. How does Ralph Kemp and Jared James fit in? Were they the killers? Were they others? Heroin? Why are the kids under the Clark's house? Why are the kids under the Clark's house? Is it the location or Jess? Why was Adam killed? What was the motive? You know, solid questions to be asking. Maybe there's a piece of something in one of the drawings that I missed. Or maybe in one of the newspapers. Body of a missing girl found in the trunk of known criminals. High doses of heroin in her system. Drugs and drug use. Effects of heroin can cause a dream-like state. Is that why the children don't remember their last moments? Just popped my knee and that felt amazing. Is that why the children don't remember their last moments were a drug-induced dream haze? They are reliving that confusion, but why would you do this? They weren't murdered, the children were being trafficked.
It's
like
like
Jin-
Jess
oh,
said,
fuck you.
the ghosts only see pieces.
Put them all together, girl. Burger Shack. And look, yeah, it's the two old people. I fucking called that shit. There he is, and there she is. Simple story, simple outcome, but pretty decent.
They were at the Burger Shack, John.
The fucking Burger Shack, John. They had to be. Those poor kids.
And who do these drawings look like?
Bum bum bum. The Clarks.
Oh my god, it was the Clarks. And I've told them everything. I need to go to the police. But who's gonna believe this? The Clarks are one of the most prominent families in Kate's Crossing.
Always the white
And I
people.
can't believe that a child's drawings will hold up in a court of law. I need to get Carol and those kids out of that house. And I shudder to think what would have happened if I took Mrs. Clark's offer for lemonade. I'd probably be under that house.
Damn right you would be.
Hello? Really? That's incredible news. Yes, I'll be right over. And Mrs. Daniels, I have a lot to tell you. I don't think we can trust the Clarks, but we'll talk more when I get there. John, Jess woke up, but I'm sure you'll hear about this before you get the tape. I'm dropping this in the mail as I leave for the Daniels. If I or any of us disappear, it was the Clarks.
Damn, that's wild.
So many thoughts were racing through my mind as I drove to the Daniels home. The Clarks, Adam, the children, Jess. Why was she able to wake up now? What changed? Did I do something? Hell, maybe the ghost let Jess go. Maybe she escaped. Why does this feel too easy? And why is it when you have somewhere to be, you hit every red light? It was like something was telling me to stay away.
Run him over.
The moment I walked through the front door, I found Mr. Clark pointing a gun in my face. Jess wasn't awake. I was lured here, and I didn't need to guess why. I knew in my heart that this was my fault. We were all going to die.
We were all going to die down here. Man, that has stuck with me ever since I first saw it. Love Resident Evil. So dope.
John, I know you've heard me tell this story a dozen times now, but the following drawings are Jess's account of the event. Although she was unconscious for the majority of the experience, Jess was incredibly accurate.
Clark's plan was simple. They were going to shoot us and then burn the place down. What they didn't expect was some pissed off kids. You were supposed to leave after your husband died. Why didn't you just leave? We tried, but Jess got sick. We figured you'd kill your husband and we wouldn't have to kill the kids. Of course they killed her husband too. Poor Adam. Now our hands are tied. I like the color change. So dramatic. Jess, I hope you can hear me because we need your help. Miss Julia, get a girl. We can't leave. Please don't hurt my babies. They're about to kill them and burn the place down. It doesn't matter. Says Clark, you cold-blooded. This is on you. That you victim blames? Wow, piece of shit. What about the other children? Were your hands tied when you kidnapped them, hurt them? Call their ass out, Miss Julia. We never hurt a single kid. It was just a business. You guys are bitches. Tell that to the families you ruined. You might not have pulled the trigger or taken a life, but you sent them on their way. How rude. That makes you worse. You knew what kind of monsters you were feeding them to. Analog horror, known as children under the house. Nasty as it is, the money saved us. I'm alive because of it. I'm not apologizing for surviving, just killing kids. Even the devil thinks he's justified. That's cute. I'm ready for these two to die, but I think we have heard enough from you. Shoot them and let's burn this place. It's a children's drawing. It's depicting events of what happened from a child's perspective. Close your eyes, baby. Settle me. Miss Julia's wild. She don't care. Do you even remember their names? I highly doubt they actually knew any of their names.
John, I knew I only had one shot to survive this. I needed the children to remember. The children were in this house with the Clarks for years, and they never made contact. I needed the Clarks to confess, admit to the crime, and if my time being a therapist has taught me
good knowledge
anything,
to know.
People want to validate their actions. You just need to know how to ask.
I remember all of their names and faces. At least Mr. Clark keeps it real. He said, I remember him. What of it? You don't forget that. I love how Jess is passed out, but she has got great detail. Mia, Mark, Wendy, Shelley, Zach, Brad, Kate, Sue, Wes, June, Linda. Those little faces behind the cages. That's wild. We aren't monsters. We just traffic children. Nobody wants to see a kid cry. That why you drugged them? They didn't just drug them. They didn't even give them sleeping medicine. They gave them heroin. They pumped the kids full of heroin and then trafficked them. What I can't figure is how you know those names. That's where you guys fucked up. We had this place scrubbed. You shouldn't have gotten that from a box of toys. Toys I thought were destroyed. Simple, they told me. Can't do it, my man. Hey, Mia, they remember you. Do you remember them? Ooh, the ghosts are gonna remember. Clarks are about to get ripped apart. We remember you now. We remember everything. You took us. Now we take. No, we're sorry.
The children ripped the Clarks apart, then dragged every piece back into the shadows. They left nothing, not even blood.
I love when children get their retribution. My girl got a piece in every hand. She is happy now. I have his head.
After that, Jess woke up. The only thing left of the Clarks was their gun and a news story.
Owner of the beloved burger shack missing. Police have no leads. Clark's vehicle's found, but police still have no suspect. Police fear the worst in Clark's disappearance.
No one will ever know what they did except us, and they will probably always be remembered as the kindly couple who owned the burger shack. But according to Jess, they got what they deserved.
Just said, don't worry, they're in hell. They're just chilling. End of house call. I thought John's just getting recordings of all this. Final session.
It's been 2 weeks since Jess woke up. Carol said things felt different in the home, brighter.
They stayed in
She
the
said it
house?
felt like a different house.
That's wild.
Couldn't do it. Not me. Absolutely not. We are definitely moving. I can't believe they stayed in the house. They are wild. They said all these
Carol
dead
told
kids
me
in
they
here
were
mean
finally
nothing.
Moving back to Houston.
Okay.
Jess had been in a great mood since, but she still has not said a word. Maybe the children took her voice with them. So how are you today?
Great, with a big heart.
Are you looking forward to moving back to Houston?
Yes, I miss my friends. Sucks their dad had to die for no fucking reason. Wish dad was coming, but I know he's somewhere watching over us. For real, Adam straight
I'm
up
sure
got
he
killed
is,
for no
Jess.
reason.
Your mom said you still aren't speaking. Have you given it a try? No. Jess just shrugged and smiled. Looks like I got my wish. I got a happy Jess after all.
A happy Jess. That is her wish.
Have you seen Maya or the others?
I got my wish too. They all got released. Nice. Are we actually getting a happy ending?
Feel free now.
No. John. Her little voice was the sweetest sound I've ever heard. We spent the rest of the session playing
Aw,
board games.
this is so
We had a good time,
nice.
and then after we said goodbye.
I see why this is so beloved now. It gets a happy ending? What?
Like I said, John, this would make one hell of a book, but I don't think it's a book I can write. At least not now. Maybe one day I'll come back to this case. Maybe. Besides,
That is true.
no one will
Joe is
ever
very
believe
happy
it.
right now.
I think it would be better to just let these children rest.
And they
Sorry to waste your
respected the
time, John.
dead at the
We can
end?
talk it over when I
Wow.
come down for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this was enjoyable. I liked this. It was definitely like the truest version of a minimalistic movie, but I really enjoyed it. They did a good job.
It's been 10 years since I've looked at these tapes. I thought about destroying them, but that doesn't feel right. I followed up on Carol, Dean, and Jess. Carol has a job in some accounting firm. She never remarried. Dean went to college. He's studying finance. Jess seems to be happy. She's about to graduate and move to New York for college. Carol says she doesn't remember Maya or the ghost children. Neither her or Dean ever bring it up. And maybe neither should I.
Awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed that. That was so fun.
That was so enjoyable. Yeah, they re-released that like 3 or 4 different times. Next up is going to be Anomalies: A Demon in the House. The full footage is about 47 minutes, so strap in. I'm sure we'll have to do a lot of reading because in his other one we did, but you know, it's a good story. And I heard this one was pretty cosmic, so I'm excited about that. Gotta
I've
get
been a
up for
man who has
reading.
never believed in anything strange. Not in ghosts or legends, just as a man who rarely dreams at night. Perhaps my true dreams are too concrete, too rooted in reality and material things. This has made me a difficult person to persuade, and at times, I could say that I find it somewhat challenging to enjoy some aspects of life. Until one day I was haunted by all those spirits that wander within our subconscious. At least, that's how I wanted to understand it. But it seemed to be something deeper and more ethereal than a jumble in my head. Something that I couldn't shake from my mind for weeks. Something I couldn't even control with my own will. It was just there, appearing in every time I closed my eyes, even without being asleep. Perhaps we have all dreamed of unknown people. Men and women we don't remember seeing, but who interact with us during the night. Some just pass by like extras in a movie, while others present themselves as a friend, our mother, or our children. All those people actually exist, and we have seen them at some point in our lives. Probably on television, in a bar, on the street, or in photos on social media, but in one way or another, we have come into contact with their faces. This phenomenon is more common than we might think, and highlights how powerful our brain is, and how powerful it is at remembering trivial details that would seem irrelevant to our daily lives. But there are some things that go beyond what our minds can create, things that appear without us ever noticing them or knowing about them.
Following story corresponds to a personal investigation into an event I experienced back in 2004. It took me about 2 years to recover physically before starting the formal documentation of this story, which I warn you, if you search for information on the internet, you may not find anything. Any events go unnoticed in day-to-day life. Nose and stomach!
I want to document in this recording what I have been dreaming about in these past nights. The psychiatrist has advised me to take note of each of them when I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm a bit lazy for that, so I decided to buy a relatively cheap audio recorder and describe each
And
of
I'm
my
a
dreams.
bit lazy for that.
This way, I can transcribe them on some weekend with more calm and try to look for any common patterns. I hope this device doesn't break too quickly. For now, it's just time to go to sleep and see what happens.
April 1st, 2004. I like the music.
This is my first dream record. It's almost 5 in the morning. I've seen the face of this man again. He's in front of me and doesn't take his eyes off me. I see silhouettes of people passing behind him. Some seem to turn around to look at him. There are moments when the man disappears, and I appear in a house similar to those in my city, North Battleford. There, time seems to stand still. I don't know how I know it, but in the dream, I am absolutely certain that I have been stuck for an eternity in a night that never ends. As often happens in one of the hallways of the house, the man reappears in the background, and he stares at me. He approaches, and with each step, the house begins to burn, and I wake up.
April 3rd, 2004. 2:51 a.m.
I have dreamt again of the man who watches me attentively. There is something in his appearance or presence that suggests a name to me. Robert Barzy. That name resonates in my mind every time I see his face. This time the dream doesn't take place in any location I can identify. There are metal bars in the sky, transforming into stars, and the ground is swampy at times, yet simultaneously, I walk on neat ochre-colored ceramics. This dream has been brief, but the name Robert Barcy continues to resonate with me.
April 6, 2004, 6:25 a.m.
I woke up half an hour before my alarm. Today I have to pick up my niece from the Scouts. I needed that half hour of sleep. I swear, I know I forgot to record my dreams for the past few days, but they've been vague, harder to describe each time, and honestly, it seems like I don't remember them as well as before. I'd like to think these dreams will end, and that man, Robert Barcy, is nothing more than an expression of my subconscious, trying to tell me to relax a bit, work less, or whatever. I'll discuss that with my psychiatrist next month. I have nothing more to say this morning.
April 9th, 3:04 a.m.
I just woke up and I'm sweating. I'm really sweating badly. I think I have fever,
I wake up sweating a
but the
lot,
heat I'm
but that's just
experiencing
because
is
the dog
unbearable.
loved me.
I saw Robert Barcy once again. His face. I've never had him so close to me. He just looked at me, and everything around him was on fire. And it felt so real. I know I must have caught some kind of flu, and that made me have that nightmare. But I can't stop thinking that this man has reappeared so vividly in my dreams. I'll comment more at some other time.
April 20th, midnight 39.
It was indeed the flu, but fortunately, I have almost no symptoms. It was tough, and that's why I didn't record more until tonight. Since April 9 or 10, I don't remember the date exactly, I have continued to dream about Robert Barcy every damn night. Sometimes he appears as just another person, an extra in my dreams, although I sense his presence and his penetrating gaze. Lately, my dreams have been set in old neighborhoods, those where houses are still only made of raw brick, with a reddish tone that I have never seen in this neighborhood, but have seen on TV and in some movies. I also took the opportunity to draw this man's face. I know I'm not very good at this, but I've tried to do the best I can. It's terrifying, I know, and I don't like looking at it too much, but this situation is starting to disturb me a lot, so I have asked the psychiatrist to move up my appointment. Remember to listen to this recording tomorrow. It's scheduled for April 25 at 3 in the afternoon. Note it down.
Over the next 2 months, dreams of that man diminished considerably in intensity. For a whole week, I didn't even dream of him. It was a great relief for me and for the development of my personal life. It seemed curious because I didn't really know what I had done to stop having that dream. In fact, the psychiatrist didn't prescribe any pills. For him, it was just stress. However, my tranquility wouldn't last long, and it was the situation I will detail next that encouraged me to document all this and transcribe the recordings about my dreams. On the morning of Sunday, July 11th, I received, as usual, the newspaper at my doorstep. It contained the usual: economic crises, sports results, interviews with politicians, some celebrity uttering an unfortunate and irrelevant phrase. But in a corner of page 14, the following was announced: fatal fire leaves at least 4 victims and 1 missing in the city of Saskatoon. Alex, aged 32, had been one of the victims. along with his children, Jeremy, Tim, and Kristen. The man who couldn't be found was named Robert Barzy.
Oh, snap. That's kind of cool.
Something seemed to click in my head. Suddenly, everything seemed too obvious. The name, the fire, and his face. Robert Barzy's photograph had been published in the newspaper. The same face I had been dreaming of for months. The note, quite brief for the seriousness of the matter, stated that the family's father had disappeared after the fire. No one had heard from him again, neither relatives nor friends. Not even the neighbors, who had declared that it wasn't the first time they had witnessed other fires in the neighborhood, where other people had also been declared missing. Robert Barzy was a real person. All this time, I had been dreaming of someone who actually existed. But where had I seen him before? He didn't seem familiar at all before he started appearing in my dreams. The news indicated that the incident had occurred in Saskatoon, a city I had never been anywhere near. Everything was too strange and confusing, and things didn't stop taking on an ominous tone. I didn't dream of that man again since then, and I didn't dream of anything else. My nights were short, and I couldn't fully recover. It felt like closing my eyes, and after a few seconds, I woke up, as if I hadn't slept even for a moment. I went back to my psychiatrist and told him what had happened. I expected a more empathetic reaction from him, but he just responded with a mocking snort and told me I was worrying too much. He advised me to stop reading so much news, to stop watching television as well. Men like this, Robert Barzy, are everywhere, he insisted. It was a common face, and everything had been a simple coincidence. I needed more rest. Stress was still playing tricks on me. At this point, what I would call a necessary turning point for the story occurred. The psychiatrist decided it was a good idea to medicate me, so I could sleep better and stay less alert during the day. But I refused. I couldn't take medication under the premise that my story with Robert Barzy was a lie, conjectures of a paranoid mind that had started to link random events due to emotional overload. It was then that I headed to Saskatoon with one mission: to find those neighbors of Robert Barzy and his family, to gather all the information I could about him. My journey to the city wasn't too long. Sometimes I wonder why I never felt the need to come to this place before. It's less than 2 hours from my hometown, North Battleford. Naturally, I was surprised by the expanse of its streets and avenues, but I've always been good at navigating maps, so finding Robert Barzy's house was easier than I thought, especially pinpointing it in the neighborhood, as it was the only one that differed radically in aesthetics from those around it. Made of reddish bricks, massive, and victim of a fire not many days ago. It was already July 18th, and the possible debris left by the fire and rescue procedures had been cleared. Only the massive structure remained, along with a couple of trees in the backyard that strangely didn't suffer the consequences of the fire's ferocity. The house had that ominous look not necessarily because of the fire's aftermath. Something about it gave it a strange appearance, alien to the neighborhood. Darker than the rest of the houses.
The fact that, 4 people died in the house might have something to do with it.
Obviously, before the tragedy.
Not the fire, the fact that 4 people died in it.
I was watching me from nearby windows and entered the porch of Robert Barzy's house. The air still felt difficult to breathe just by approaching the entrance, and the disaster was evident. Nothing had survived inside. All that remained were ashes and charred marks on the walls. The beams of light crossing into the interior suggested that perhaps Robert Barzy had been more consumed by the house itself than disappeared. It didn't take long before an elderly lady asked me from the fence of the adjacent house if I needed anything. The woman, with a friendly tone but a frightened face, wanted to know what I was doing
He
there.
said, "What you doing?"
So interested in the house and taking photographs. I replied in the same cordial tone that I had read about the fire in the newspaper and that I was interested in what had happened. She mentioned that I wasn't the first to come, that strangely a lot of people seemed to have taken an interest in the incident, but they had simply gotten out of their cars, taken photos from the outside, and left without further ado. The woman seemed willing to answer all kinds of questions, and I was surprised to discover that she was the neighbor who had spoken to the press about the history of fires in the area. To protect her identity, I'll call her Rose. I hesitated to tell her about my dreams with Robert Barcy. I assumed she would think I was crazy and immediately distrust me. Could I be some kind of deranged man who has become obsessed with macabre stories? While it seemed plausible, I was also becoming somewhat paranoid about the matter and what others might think of me. However, I noticed that Rose was open enough to talk about the history of Robert Barzy's house, justifying my visit with the true reason. So, I was clear and direct. The Barzy family were acquaintances of my sister, and that was precisely why I had made the trip. I needed to verify if it was indeed them. What you will hear next is Rose's account, who kindly agreed to tell me the story of her neighbor's house. At times you'll notice she thinks I'm some kind of journalist or government agent. Perhaps she even ignored the reasons I mentioned for being there talking to her at some point.
Rose, look at my 5. July 18th, 2004, 3:21 p.m.
The history of this neighborhood is very long. My late husband and I moved here when they were just starting to build the first houses. It might seem curious, but this site was also ravaged by a fire in the early 1900s. There was a steel plant, as I was told, many years ago when we bought this house. I have some old documents if you're interested. The fire was so fierce that the land, being so damaged, was sold at a much lower price. So real estate developers took the opportunity. However, one of the few buildings that survived the steel plant fire was, and this seems quite strange, let me tell you, it was the Barzy family's house. The one that, over 100 years ago, supposedly housed the office where the company owner worked. I think all this must have been some family dispute, because the only heirs of the steel plant were the ones who stayed to live here in the same house. They renovated the burned building, and when we arrived, we were their neighbors for a while. Perhaps this is the strangest thing you'll hear, and what I'm going to tell you will be followed by other information that will be equally or more shocking, if you permit me. Our first neighbor was also named Robert Barcy, who lived from the 40s to the 60s with his family until a fire swept away everything they had built. Just like what happened to our Robert Barcy, who disappeared a few days ago. I am
That's
sure
wild.
they were relatives, and as such, they have lived on this inherited land for decades. The name thing may have a plausible explanation. Look, I am named after my grandmother, and my late husband carried the name of his father and grandfather. Naming children in honor of their ancestors is a fairly common tradition, but it's still curious. I'll leave it to your interpretation.
Rose was too kind to me. After the story she told me, she headed to her room, rummaging through some boxes. She pulled out several folders filled with newspaper clippings, organized by year and carefully classified. It was then that she handed me the local newspaper report from October 7th, 1966. The day after the first fire in the Barzy family's house, the first of them. There, a very brief report also recorded the death of 5 people and the disappearance of one of them. Above the headline, a photograph of the house engulfed in flames and the portrait of Robert Barzy, also missing. But none of this answered my real question: what had brought me to this place 2 hours from my home? Why had I been dreaming of that man? What was in him that was so relevant in my life? I don't know if I should consider the strangeness of his story, but these coincidences were steeped in a mystery that gnawed at my thoughts. I couldn't just sit idly by, so I began my journey back to my beloved North Battleford, and thus began my investigation into the Barzy family, from the missing to the first victim of the strange fires. The early years of the 20th century saw the burgeoning city of Saskatoon, still with no more than 5,000 residents, witness the burgeoning of the steel industry, taking its first major steps in establishing large-scale production in the lonely and sparsely populated lands of the province of Saskatchewan. It was in the year 1895 that Amadeo Barzy, heir to vast agricultural lands from his family originating in northern Italy, decided to venture into a completely different field and give a notable boost to the province. In just a few years, he managed to establish Canada's most important metal processing industry. In 1902, he entered into his third marriage with the only daughter of the region's largest railway services entrepreneur, Raymond Le Pouchichot, who was 30 years his junior. Together, they had 2 daughters, Alice and Michelle. With the aim of creating a distinctly Western Canadian brand, Mr. Barzy decided to anglicize his name, and thus his family and business would adopt the surname Barzy. This is the earliest record found in North American territory of the curious surname that repeated itself for 2 generations among families unrelated to each other. Amadeo Barzy amassed a colossal fortune for the time, and although money was not a matter of concern in terms of his lifestyle, he chose to live in the same house until the day of his disappearance. Regarding the mystery surrounding his death, some news from cities near Saskatoon reported a massive fire that razed the entire steel complex, including his house. Similarly, but with a few extra details, local newspapers reported. However, the information in general is somewhat vague, and there are only documents related to the life of the Barzy family through what we might call biographical sources. In this category is the medical note of one Joseph Noble, an Austrian psychiatrist residing in Vancouver, who was called by the Le Pouchichot family to evaluate their daughter's strange behavior a few years after marrying Amadeo Barzy. In this psychiatric report, which is housed in the Museum of the Canadian Psychoanalytic Society in Montreal, the following is recorded.
Mrs. Barzy, formerly Le Pouchichot, has an ectomorphic build and presents good features. Physically healthy, good psychomotor performance, and correct spatial orientation. She has been visited by me at the request of her father, who entrusted me with monitoring her for at least 2 nights at the family estate. Likewise, her father has expressly requested that neither this report nor my examinations be disclosed to Mrs. Barzy's husband. The reasons remain confidential on the family's part. Mrs. Raymond responds to my questioning by stating that she experiences significant discomfort that only occurs in certain areas inside a marital home. Additionally, she mentioned feeling intense heat in the palms of her hands whenever she performed tasks near the door leading to the basement. The latter is relevant because she emphasized the matter of that door on several occasions, and how the doorknob seemed to be burning at various times of the day, especially during the mornings. She has also suffered from constant nightmares regarding this and a word that she describes as terrifying to even mention. Karoy. The family is extremely concerned about their daughter's unfounded accusations against her husband, as she has repeatedly mentioned that it is Amadeo who has an unhealthy connection to the basement of the house, and that there is something beneath it causing those inexplicably high temperatures. Mrs. Barzi's family has suggested that their daughter may be suffering from severe hallucinations, if not demonic possession. They also demand that my treatments help her maintain her sanity and respect her husband. It will all be for the sake of their daughters. My impressions, on the contrary, differ somewhat, as I observe a personality atrophy due to traumatic neurosis regarding the birth of her two daughters, as well as the change of scenery to the new city. The city is filled with foul odors, possibly toxic smoke, and the distance from her siblings and mother. Based on the above, I can diagnose with certainty that my science attributes a traumatic somatization hysteria. For this reason, she will be recommended to take hot baths twice a day, as well as prescribed infusions detailed in the annex of this report, and sessions every 2 days of visual deprivation, so that her visual system can learn to recognize the world again. Regarding the basement activities, I've been informed that Mr. Amadeo Barzi is the owner of the steel factory, so given such prestige, I fear these are matters to which I will be ethically obliged to avoid commenting on.
Interesting.
It is understandable that, given the era and professional considerations, what the young Raymond Barzi experienced was treated as more than just a case of hysteria, as evidenced by letters between partners and friends of Amadeo Barzi, which could be classified as valid testimony in the most literal sense. That is to say, there was something there in the basement and in the home itself that elicited physiological reactions in the woman. For the last existing record from 1908, the week before Amadeo's death, concerning the attendance report from the factory central office, indicates a 5-day absence from work by the owner. Observations reveal a subsequent note indicating that Mr. Barzi remained at his residence, specifically in the basement, as attested by the housekeeper and his wife. Since then, the story is well known. The fierce fire claimed the family, except for Amadeo Barzi, who was never found, alive or dead. Years later, due to the decline of the company, the factory facilities were abandoned and slowly purchased by real estate agencies. This deeply caught the attention of some locals who, thanks to new access to technology, documented the desolate abandoned landscapes. The most iconic photograph stands out, showing a strange spectral figure in a windows of Amadeo Barzi's peculiar house. It is curious that there is such scant information beyond birth records about the family of the first Robert Barzi, who died in 1966. Although it is also logical to consider that these were ordinary citizens, middle class, with no significant academic or professional achievements. The same happened with the case I happened to read about in the newspaper a few weeks ago. I couldn't gather more information than what I obtained from Rose, which was quite insufficient. But I'm not sure if that would have helped much, because the information I was seeking wasn't really found in the history of their lives, but in the house itself. The exact location where there was still a basement, the same one where Raymond had experienced such strange events and where Amadeo Barzi had secluded himself until the fire, only to disappear without a trace. Days after my encounter with Rose, I decided to return to the house. Fortunately, it was still standing just as it was on that occasion. The interior still had that strange haze, similar to suspended smoke. However, With the number of days that had passed, and the excellent ventilation the house had achieved after doors and windows were completely consumed, it felt unnatural. Similarly, and keeping in mind Raymond Barcy's words, there was a strange oppressive heat felt inside, as if it were some kind of heat emanating from the house's foundations. Navigating the interior, it didn't take long to find the only staircase that, due to its construction materials, had not been affected, unlike those on the upper floors, which were reduced to ashes. It was the path to the basement, from where I can assure you I felt the flow of a warm breeze emerging, which at the time I did not perceive how harmful it was. Always with a sensation of burning and heat in my hands and cheeks, I decided to descend and explore the place in search of something that would give me some clue to what I was trying to discover, the origin of my strange dreams.
Knew there was something.
Everything seemed normal for what had happened. The fire had swept away everything existing under the house. Many areas were unrecognizable compared to what one might assume prior to the tragedy. There, accompanied only by a flashlight and the light of my camera, I found nothing strange or unexpected until I reviewed the photographs at home. At that moment, I realized a couple of images of things that perhaps I did not see due to the excessive darkness and not because they were not really there. For those claws protruding from the basement are clear enough to actually be there.
That's crazy.
Once I came to terms with what I was seeing, beyond fear or excitement, I also noticed that my arms had reddened to such an extent that I had to go to the hospital to be checked, as over the days the burning sensation increased considerably, and they already looked like something serious to be treated. The doctors there asked me if I had been exposed to high temperatures, to some kind of oven, or something similar, to which I responded negatively, mentioning that the closest thing was my visit to Robert Barcy's house. But for the specialists, this had no relation whatsoever. After all, in a fire, the heat emanating from objects does not reach such intensity as to harm a person, especially after so many days. This is how I came to the conclusion that this must be the result of something unknown, something otherworldly perhaps, and then I remembered a word that would ultimately be the answer to this: Karoi. The word that Raymond Barcy constantly found in her nightmares. You may be surprised or not, but a few years ago the renowned television network History Channel made a brief documentary about the followers of a strange demon of the same name. A demon that has been present in various moments of history and has had a characteristic in its actions that has led to the ruin of anyone who has believed in it: the obsession with its figure.
Throughout history, man has endeavored to give extensive and endless forms of understanding to the world that surrounds him. The strangeness of nature itself has sparked 1,000 fantastical tales attempting to make sense and logic of that which seems unreachable and elusive to human understanding. From storms to deadly droughts, all civilizations since recorded history have concentrated their worldviews in mystical narratives of divine beings who, from a celestial plane or the very underworld, manipulate the threads of both the destinies of individuals and everything that surrounds them. Harvests, rains, fires, and even the miracle of life have some proximity in their initial definition to some kind of supernatural force that has placed them there for some reason. Both in the Eastern and Western worlds, religions have imposed themselves as the universal and socially accepted explanation for hundreds of generations. Millions of rituals are celebrated each year affirming this powerful institutionalization of what we know as Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, among many others. The faithful have turned these gatherings of devotion into true social rituals where they reaffirm and share their experiences of the most diverse natures and forms of expression. Whether it is Jesus, Allah, Muhammad, Abraham, they all share something in common, being symbolic representations of a set of values that move their followers, who project their lives according to the fundamental principles that their beliefs define as the right or the ordained for an eternal life, a life of light or wisdom. Despite the fact that humanity has often been at extreme war risk due to differences in beliefs, these seem not to cease, and their followers seem to rally more with the standards to defend their positions and principles in life. The history of humanity has countless facets, events that have conveniently been left out of the official and hegemonic narrative, which, due to their dark and little-known past, does not mean that they lacked a certain relevance or importance for an extensive group of people at a certain date. In fact, many of these events were in their time the official and duly accredited versions by emperors, kings, or figures of religious authority, but, for various reasons, many of them of a political nature, they were censored and kept away from public knowledge, burying them in the greatest of oblivion, to the point that today they seem like stories taken from conspiracy theories or documentation adulterated for sensationalist purposes. This was the case of the Holy Church of Karawa, whose influence on the Orthodox Patriarchate of Constantinople during the 6th and 7th centuries was of utmost relevance for various political decisions and diplomatic resolutions among the different rulers of the time. This church, whose foundation dates back to ancient tribes that inhabited what is now known as Turkey, began as a traditional heretical cult to the god of the caves called Karawa, a place where a few ancient drawings have been found in the current province of Denizli, near the renowned Pamukkale Park. According to scarce historical records, the veneration of Karawa was one of the greatest secrets of the inhabitants of the southern and eastern region of Anatolia, who had to resist the onslaughts of various invasions and religious impositions that occurred on the bridge connecting Europe and Asia. From old books, his darkened and enormous appearance has been rescued. It is thought that these descriptions were probably intended to create a relatively terrifying story in order to persuade rival tribes or potential enemies of foreign nations. However, records close to the decline of the Roman Empire indicate something more than such an intention. Although the trace of Karawa is somewhat diffuse before the Common Era, it is during the time of Justinian the Great in the 6th century that the figure of the strange god reappears. In fact, it is said that the influence of this belief on the Roman emperor was so great that he ordered to portray his image in the corners of the interior of one of the domes of the Hagia Sophia Cathedral, as a way of reminding the figures of Christianity of his fervent belief in what he called the one true God. Although today Hagia Sophia has been converted into a museum, after previously becoming a mosque with the Turkish invasion, and the portraits of Karawa are no longer there are records of historians, explorers, navigators, and political figures who have made references in their writings to the presence of this intimidating figure in the heights of Hagia Sophia. The museum's registry data indicate that around the year 1799, they were removed by explicit order of Selim III, and the persecution of the cult established as law in Mahmud II in 1809, a year after the beginning of his sultanate, as a measure that is suspected to have had certain retaliatory motivations. From that date on, many works of art, both national and foreign, were declared lost or destroyed, only to be found in the mid-20th century. However, although the main center of worship seemed to be found in Ottoman lands, art historians and clerics have bet on its high level of knowledge beyond Turkish borders, after coming across a series of paintings that have tried to portray the relationship of men and Catholicism with Karawa. Both in the Middle Ages, with painters like Francesco della Passa, as well as with Veronio Salacci and Bruhan von Haupthaus, contemporaries of Michelangelo Buonarroti, the evidence of the religious impact of this deity was revealed, despite the almost absolute ignorance of these artists, who enjoyed relative recognition in their lifetimes. But the question that arises is the following: who or what exactly was Karawa Yerel, and why did it become such a transcendent figure in antiquity? Historians have not come to an exact conclusion about whether this entity was actually seen or had direct contact, as some stories describe it as a god appearing in the dreams of clergymen and kings, as well as a collective myth that induced pseudo-hallucinations close to what was known as mass hysteria. On the other hand, this figure is described as an omnipresent being, simultaneously seen in monasteries, cathedral catacombs, royal palaces, presenting itself as epiphanies of perfection and salvation to all who saw it. Such an impact had on the ecclesiastical society that many priests tried to influence the popes, as well as political authorities with religious connections, to impose the worship of Karawa as the true messenger of God. For this reason, stories mainly tell of its appearances to figures of relevance in the spheres of power, and rarely were detailed stories of revelations to peasants or slaves known. It is to be assumed that Karawa tried to ascend in the ranks of the different churches to impose a superior truth, replacing the gospel of Jesus Christ and even changing the course of human history. A writing found in present-day Cyprus, belonging to an anonymous scribe from the 3rd century, alludes to the most faithful and detailed description ever found of this entity. Found in the manuscripts of the Revelations to Alexander Severus, dated in the year 230 of the Common Era, it presents the following account.
If the divine will allows it, may my pen be the bearer of celestial grace to recount the marvel that is the creature Karoi, a gift bestowed by the luminosity and wisdom of the Holy Spirit to the illustrious emperor Caesar Marcus Aurelius Severus Alexander Augustus, in testimony of unquestionable truth. It is said that this divine entity is colossal, as vast as the columns that support the majestic houses,
the voice
shrouded in the dark shadow of night and the darkness of coal. From its incomprehensible form rises a robust neck and countenance of dark mantle and tone. From this being emanate reddish glows of intense incandescence, never resting in their radiance. Its language is a thunderous whisper, serpentining through every corridor, penetrating the chambers of saints and sinners, just and thieves, with an unmistakable
I have a self-promo tab in the Discord now, so you're more than welcome to post it there whenever you get it done.
No matter how brief the moment, it possesses them and is worshipped as the true God. It is said to crawl on immense walls, leaving a trace of darkness on the pristine marble. It flees through forests and caves of unfathomable depths, beyond the reach of human exploration. It annihilates herds, leaving behind a trail of misfortune, celebrated with frenetic and enigmatic jubilation by kings and slaves alike. From its gaze emanates the inexplicable and mysterious divinity of the celestial plane.
It is interesting to analyze the ambivalent nature of its presence, as described in what is a transcription of a story by Alexander Severus.
I'll have to check it out.
Despite its divine, revealing, and enticing character for the entire world, Karawa harbors immense violence and disdain for society. It seems that its attempt to move within the upper echelons had the sole intention of stripping Christian figures of their worship position and establishing itself as the true God, transcending borders and religions, as its influence in Ottoman society in the 19th century had transformed into a matter of imperial order and security. Today, some archaeologists have insisted to the Turkish government to allow excavations and interventions both in the catacombs and in the domes of the Hagia Sophia Museum, but their efforts have been in vain, as the museum's heritage protection only allows interventions authorized by competent bodies in relation to state geological restoration and intervention processes. Whether it is possible someday to discover the mysteries behind the mosaics or not, the existing replicas in small mosques, which in the past were churches and basilicas, scattered throughout Turkey,
Yeah, I think there's a 6-hour delay, so that way people can't just spam
offer a
it.
direct historical source for the study and unveiling of the mysteries of the cult of Karawa, a part of human history that lies hidden in the deepest ignorance and unfamiliarity, but which could be one of the definitive keys to understanding the most horrendous wars for religious reasons that have occurred in the past. The influence of Karawa on powerful rulers of extinct empires could have defined the understanding of our Western world and the political relations between different cultures that coexist in close and complex relationships.
That was such an insane information dump. Didn't hate it though. Awesome. That was a demon in the house. Next up is going to be No Escape, a Backrooms film. As he says, it's all his series. He just put it into one video. But 4 days ago, it's already got all these views. I'm hoping it's pretty good. We are going to go ahead and take a nice little 5-minute break while I get my daughter put down for her nap. And then we will be right back.
she went down pretty easily. She was already rubbing her eyes inside the playpen, so we're gonna be able to continue on pretty easily. About an hour and a half. Let's go. I'm so excited. I'll put this as the last.
Is this thing going? Hello, everyone. Beautiful day out today. And today, we're gonna be throwing the ball for Juno.
Juno better not have any issues.
Ready?
Arise.
Go.
Arise.
Come here. Come here. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Throw number 2. She just turned 3 today.
In her
She's fully
prime.
grown. Don't think that she'll get much bigger than this. Which I'm thankful for.
Prime.
I never wanted a big dog.
My dogs are in their
She's
prime right
perfect
now, and I'm
size.
really sad about it.
All right. Throw number 3. There we go.
Oh. I knew it was coming, but it just took me for a loop.
Ball just... Hold on. Ball just...
I'm using a
ground.
koozie on my cup that I got at my wedding I went to like 6 months ago. These are dogs that I don't know. From people at a wedding I attended that I don't know. Only went because my wife knew them.
Can
But
someone
now
explain this to
this
me?
dog is dead.
Went through right about...
So
Here.
shout out this dog.
Right
Gone
there.
but not forgot.
I don't know.
Could be this dog though.
It's literally
One of these dogs.
right here. It's solid ground. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Right here.
Let me just stick my foot
I
in
don't
it.
understand. Where did it go? Whoa, whoa.
Damn, son, he's hitting everything on the way down.
Damn.
So that had to hurt a little bit. Damn, son. That would be super overwhelming.
Hello?
I don't think that's the sound I would want to be hearing. Oh, good googly moogly. Not even fair. He just got here. That's insane. I'm saying. Love it until I love it. Yep, that's exactly it.
That would have made me yell in Call of Duty. If I spawned and then that happened, I immediately would have started yelling. I would have got off.
Insane.
Well, that's kind of useless. That doesn't help. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to immediately turn back and go in. Oh, you just killed yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I just thought the actual weather would hurt him more. They chilled it out. I think you're gonna get the AC. That would be so mean. I think you're hearing voices. It just ends up being a TV.
Missing Juanita Estevez, now age 16, last seen Yuba City, California, November 27, 1984. Call 800-843-5678.
Missing Eugene Martin, now age 15, last seen Des Moines, Iowa, August 12, 1984. Call 800-843-5678.
Missing Juanita Estevez, now age 16, last seen Yuba City, California, November 27, 1984. Call 800-843-5678.
Hello?
I don't know why you would want to talk to that.
Who's over there?
You got a free flashlight. But now you gotta go into the creepy air duct. This is terrible and I hate this. This is terrible and I hate this. Why did we know this was already gonna happen? Oogly moogly. Oh my god, you gotta go up.
Hello? Can you help me get down? There's something up here. Please.
Stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. We're gonna try and get you down.
Hurry.
Do you think the lift can reach that high?
Ooh, fuck.
Been coughing at all? Feeling dizzy, nauseated? Or...
I've been coughing a little.
We need to get you out of here as quick as possible. Kevin, notify the supervisor that we're gonna be coming back. This is Kevin to line 1. Kevin to line 1. We found... Make sure paramedics are on site when we arrive. About how many days would you say you've been in here?
I have no idea. Like, maybe 2 days or something?
You're lucky to be alive. Don't need all three of us to bring him back. Phil, Kevin, I say you guys stay here and continue the research, and I'll head back with him. I like the sound of that plan. Yeah, that's probably the best option. Alright, follow me.
Okay, sounds good.
Route line 1, currently 2.8 miles away from the threshold, heading north towards intersection 8.
Am I gonna be okay?
Let's hope so. We found an unusual amount of bacteria in the air, so it's highly dangerous to stay in here for too long without wearing one of these suits. Just past intersection 8. How you guys doing over there? Alright.
How much farther is it?
We'll be approaching intersection 7 soon. From there, it's only about 1.5 miles to the exit.
What exactly is this place?
We're not really entirely sure ourselves, but there's not too much that I'm actually allowed to tell.
Yeah, for real. Surprised they didn't, well, nope.
They wouldn't want to kill him, obviously. I just don't know what they're gonna do with him. I wonder. Cause like worst case scenario, they like experiment on him, or keep him. I guess like best case scenario, he's. I don't think they would let him go.
Everything okay? Everything okay? I didn't realize you were so far behind me.
I heard a noise. It sounded like someone laughing.
I don't think they would let him go. I don't know.
Let's keep moving. We have no time for waiting around.
I guess it really just depends on how fucked up this version of like the not government but company is.
Kevin, you guys still at the site? We think we just saw someone running. What the hell?
That's a dick move.
Is this supposed to look like this?
No, this is definitely not the way that I came.
They all look exactly the same.
Kevin, Bill, I think some sort of shift might have occurred. We're surrounded by hallways that all look exactly the same, and we don't know which way is the right one. Yeah, but they're all pointing towards the center of this room, and we don't know which path leads back to the facility. 100% sure. We've been following the main line ever since we left the site. What should we do?
Got chips, so I'm gonna snack. I'm gonna mute myself.
Where'd they go?
I have no idea, but I think something must have gotten them. Or hopefully they got away from it. Either way, there's someone. We can't leave here without them.
Yeah.
We need to try and look and see if we can find them. They've got to be somewhere out there.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go look for them.
Sounds good. Let's go. I'm thinking maybe we head left, since we just came from the right path and we didn't see them.
Okay. Let's head left.
Wow, do you think they're still alive?
Phil! Kevin!
I like how he just starts helping. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll come along.
Which way should we go?
Let's head this way. Phil, Kevin, do you copy? I repeat, do you copy?
Phil! Kevin!
Phil.
Are you sure this is the way that we came?
I'm pretty sure. I really hope so. And I really hope we can find Kevin and Phil.
Phil! Kevin!
It's just really hard when everything looks exactly the same.
Bro, you work here. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even work here.
It's open. That means they must have came this way. Let's go take a look.
Okay, let's go.
These chips are so good, man. Highly salted potato chips. Perfect.
Are you sure you think they came this way?
Possibly.
Okay, let's go.
I'd be breathing like that too if I was in the back rooms.
What was that? Let's use this lock.
It's locked.
Oh no. Let's keep going down this hallway.
Okay.
Got no choice now, boy.
This is definitely not the way that we came.
No, it's not. But we need to find Kevin and Phil right now.
Kevin!
No.
Phil!
Stop. I would stop yelling for now.
He said, we're not in that part of the back rooms anymore.
We don't know what's out there. Let's see what's up here around this corner. What?
The whole...
What is this?
Oh no. This is really not good. Oh no.
Do we have to cross that?
Hell no, I'm not crossing that. I heard about another team a few months ago that tried crossing it. It really didn't end well.
door is locked. This is our only option.
I don't know what we should do.
Come on.
There's no way I'm crossing it. Be careful. I don't know if this is such a good idea. Okay, go ahead. I'm coming. We need to stay together.
Okay.
Brother, tell yourself that.
I'm right behind you.
Still
I would not want to be near him. If he goes down, I feel like he'd pull me. Damn, they both fell. Okay.
Rob! Can you hear me?
Like, Rob, my man, I'm feeling good. I actually really like the smoke effect. That would be so fucking creepy. Yeah, I really like that, like mist, smoke, dust effect. That's like mixing Backrooms and fucking Silent Hill together. God, that would be a combo. Imagine fucking Pyramid. No, the nurses. Oh, Pyramid Head was never an issue for me. It was always the nurses. But imagine those nurses coming out of the fucking Backrooms. Woo! I'm not crazy. I'm just a little insane.
What the hell? Hello? Hello? Hello?
And we've been seeing some good Backrooms lately. We got Kane Pixel, and then we had this one. Couldn't tell this guy said he was heavily influenced with Kane Pixel. Ate too many chips. Now I'm burpy.
Where is this?
I am liking the way he's interjecting like outside scenes with the Backrooms. That's really nice. Kind of just breaks up, I wouldn't say the monotony, but kind of just breaks up the rhythm of what the Backrooms just throws you off, I guess. Bro, I'm saying, my butt cheeks are clenched. I hate this. Up and away, man. The crack rooms. Although he literally turned around, listened to the voice, and was just like, nah, I'm good. Went right up the ladder. Because, you know, I respect it.
Is anybody up here?
He just said don't fucking do that, man. Why would you do that? And that is another great thing to point out with him screaming down there. He did just say don't scream before they fell down the holes. Because you never know what's around. And then the first thing he does when he falls down there is scream. Might not be him. I don't think his name's Jack. Man, they used to make us run in high school. I hated it. That's all the coaches would do. Paid all that money all year just to tell them to make kids run. He said, you know, hard not getting paid 2 months out of the year. They work me to the bone. Pinto, I'm gonna need you to pick it up, bud. Less than 20% body fat, that's what we're aiming for. I'm not sure if I even know what Alex... I think I know what Alex Kiss would look like. I have to double check. Isn't he the Mandela creator? Mandela catalog creator?
I will say I am enjoying the fact that this series is really letting the Backrooms speak for itself.
Ooh, nice.
Because I think so far we've only seen the one entity, and that was for literally 20 seconds. Every Backrooms that we've had an elevator in, they do that, and I respect it every time. It would be terrifying. I'm glad he turned back around. It was going to annoy me if I didn't know what was to the left at that intersection. I can get over a bunch of small entrances, but I can't get over a big one. Gotta know. I'm sorry, come again? The man just cleared his throat. Boy, starting to cough some more.
What is this?
I feel like not having someone watch the big door that closes really slowly is a big uber miscalculation. Gotta sneeze.
Hello?
Ow, I hit my leg on my desk. Ow. Oh, my shin. My shin's been attacked.
Hey, someone there? How the hell did you get in here? How did you get in
My
here?
man got caught by the very first person that he saw.
Walking around, I went through this big door, and then I...
Wait, you came in through the gate?
Yeah, I was stuck in there for like 3 days.
Were you with Rob, Kevin, and Phil?
Yeah, I was with them, and then we got lost, and we were trying to find Kevin and Phil.
I found the kid inside the facility. I'm heading to the locker rooms with him. Follow me.
Come on, bud. Tag along.
What exactly is this?
This is the locker room where we keep all our suits. What do you think about the idea of going back in with us and trying to retrace your steps to help us find them?
Yeah, I can do that. I can try and help you guys find them.
Sounds good.
My boy said I'm
Also,
down.
Can you keep the camera running so we have video footage of everything?
Yeah, I'll keep it running and I'll film everything.
So where did you last see them?
I feel like they could use their own cameras, but alright, sure.
Me and Rob were leaving the main room.
You know, gotta suspend some belief.
First. Aaron, can you head over to the locker rooms?
Yeah, I'm on my way right now.
So, what's the plan? We're heading in and bringing the kid with us. You can put that camera down for now. Okay. Let's start changing into the suits.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Look at him. Part of the gang now. Suited up. Squad. That's what I'm talking about. He's dropping trios right now. So what a crazy first day on the job.
Let's go. Follow me.
Realistically, what are the odds any of the other three are alive? Just say it. Kevin, Philip, sorry buds. You two especially. Mark, maybe.
Currently at about 98% oxygen, so we have about 2 hours left. Chris. Chris, how far were you? I'm not sure. I was pretty far. The last thing I remember is Rob saying that we were about 1.5 miles from the exit.
Rob.
What are the bacteria levels in here that looking like maybe? They've risen about 24% in the last 7 days, so make sure to keep your masks on, guys.
Our boy's sweating over there. He's been in there 3 days, no mask, no nothing.
Sounds good. Just be careful. Chris, do you have a problem with this? No, not really. None of this really looks familiar. Alright, we'll just keep going the line until we reach the one we left out. Okay, sounds good. Well, how things looking up there? Everything's looking good. We're in the How close are we? How's the mask and the suit feeling? Can you breathe over it? It's alright. It's kind of hard to breathe. That's okay. What was that? Let's keep moving, guys. We should be there in approximately 30 minutes. Okay. Well, how are you holding up? Doing great. I just hope we can find them. of this really looks familiar. Don't worry about it. We'll be at the main research outpost soon.
My man had the right idea. What was that? Just run. The ear rape. Oh my god. You might just be a bad luck charm. You don't need to be around other people.
Brother, pep in your step. Pep in your step.
went down a tiny slide, brother. I highly doubt that means you're very much further.
Hello?
You know, you gotta give this guy credit. He sees a dark hallway and he's just like, yeah, same as a lit one. No matter what, I gotta go down it. He's a wild child. I respect it.
What is that? Stairs? Same. What?
But it's starting to get to him. Shit's gotta wear on the soul.
What the hell? It's a couch.
Man's an absolute trooper. Holy moly. Oh, that's it.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Fuck that. Oh my gosh, why would you look back? Why would you look back? Oh, run fast for your mother and fast for you. Oh my goodness. Oh, run for your children and your sisters and your brothers. Leave all your love and behind. I did not like that. I didn't like any of that. Very close proximity. A lot of holes in the ground. Hello. Man, that was very not. That got me a white knuckle in it. I'm saying. Hello. Ah! What did you say?
Well, Aaron.
Why would you do that? Why would you? Let me just call out a bunch of people's names after, you know, just being chased down a hole by a walking stick man.
I like that he didn't wait forever this time. That's true. This man. He knows he's been chased too. Like he knows why.
Is anyone in here?
I hate you. Oh, you're making me scratch myself incessantly.
Hello? Is somebody there?
Holy fucking shit!
What? Is that you? How do you know my name? We were walking together for like a day. Yeah, I remember. Remind me of your name again? Chris. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Just, follow me to this hallway. Okay.
Bro, how are you not suspicious of this man?
What do you mean? It's only been a few days. Alright, just, follow me around this corner to this hallway. Okay. So, how long do you say you've been in here? I don't know. I wasn't following down the road just yesterday, and then I woke up and I ended up here. That's impossible. It's been weeks. It's been weeks since we went missing. What is this? We're not exactly sure what these are. We've seen them before in our research, but this is my first time ever coming across one myself. What do they do? We're not really sure what their purpose is. They're just greenly lit rooms, lots of machinery. I'm not sure what their use is. Alright, just keep following this hallway. Okay. Are you good in the back? Yeah. Stay in the lead. Okay. How you doing back there? Doing fine. How you doing? I'm doing alright.
we go over there?
Let's grab a look.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, you go first. I'll wait by the doorway and make sure we're all clear.
Alright.
Right behind you. How far did they go down?
Not that far. Maybe 15 stairs?
Does it look safe?
Yeah.
What do you see down there?
It's some sort of pipe. Get down here.
Alright, coming. Do you see anything down there?
I'm not sure. Just a white light.
Keep going and tell me what you see.
What?
A pool.
It looks like a pool. Come down here.
Alright, I'm coming.
I'm going down.
Alright, take care of me. You all good down there?
Yeah, I'm good. You coming down?
Yeah, I'm coming down right now.
Do you know anything about this place?
No, actually, I've never seen anything like this before. I don't even think we've ever came across anything.
This our only way?
Yeah, it looks like it's our only path. It's really dark up there, so make sure to watch your step.
Is there a light up there?
Looks like some sort of light.
What's that?
I have no idea. Is that
Looks like a flashlight.
Yeah. Just be really careful if you pick it up. We don't know where it came from.
How lucky for you guys.
Try turning it on.
See if it works.
Since we have a flashlight now, maybe head up to the end of this hallway and see where it leads us.
Okay.
I'll just stay here for a minute.
A weird thing to say and want to do.
How's it looking up there?
There's two different ways. Which way should we go?
I'm right behind you.
Looks like it opens up to a room. The ceiling's got to be at least 30 feet high in here. You hear me? What? What? What?
You gotta go see this.
Coming.
Good over.
Yeah.
We should really head up this way.
Up here?
Yeah. Does he even out up there? Yeah, it looks like it. Alright, you take the lead. Okay, I'll go first. Is it clear up there? Yeah, it's all clear. You can come up. Looks like some sort of maze. I say we just head straight this way and stick to the outside wall so we don't get lost. Are you sure? What do you see up there? Nothing really. It's a tight squeeze. What? Just more hallways? Looks like it. Rob, there's light over here. What? Let's head that way. It could be an exit. Yeah. Let's go. Are you sure this could be an exit? I'm not sure, but it's worth a try. You should turn off your flashlight so it can conserve battery. Yeah. Good idea. What do you see up there? It's just a big room with lots of different doorways. Alright, coming. You coming? Yeah. Maybe let's try this doorway right here. Are you sure this hallway? It's pretty dark. Yeah, just keep going. I'm right behind you. What?
That's a big one.
What is this? I have no clue. I've never seen anything like this before. But it looks like we can't access the walkway from down here. Yeah. There's only one doorway over here. Alright, let's go take a look at that. Is it the same room? What? How is this possible? Alright, I say we try this next hallway and see if this leads us anywhere. Yeah, maybe. This one looks pretty dark too. That's alright, just go ahead and I got your back. We're good. What is that? Looks to be some sort of a pit. Be careful, don't get too close to the edge. That goes far down. Well, just keep going. Okay. What was that? Rob? Rob?
give a fuck.
Where'd you go? Do you know which way we need to go? I'm truly not sure. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I was about to say, how would he have any idea?
This leads us to an exit. Why is there no water in this pool? I'm not sure.
That's where it did. Oh my gosh, I'm guessing they got attacked. Chris's camera was recovered 200 feet from the threshold. How it ended up there is no unknown. Chris and Rob were never found. Bummer. You assume that's how it's gonna end, but you always have hope for otherwise. Rob was weird, man. My boy was like catatonic there at the end. That was crazy. Well, that was awesome. I enjoyed that. Hope you guys did too. I am gonna be spending some time with family over the next few days, but then I'll be back after the weekend with some more streaming. Probably gonna dive into a couple of games, a couple more ARGs. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, my name is Pintobread, and I will see you guys again in the next one.